Okay, council.
So, Neil?
Yeah.
We were gonna have a hearing and a resolution to enter into that loan agreement for the land.
We gotta wait on that, don't we?
I think she said we should still do a
I think you
temporary.
should. I think you should.
Yeah, cause it says not to exceed
There you go.
660,000,
Yeah.
so
If anything, it'll be less than that.
it'll be less, yeah, so we can go ahead with that resolution. Did you talk to Dan late this afternoon?
Yes.
Okay, cause I had emailed them and they said they hadn't heard from you yet, so I thought,
No,
well,
it was about
maybe-
4:30.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, if
Alright.
questions come up from any of our council, we'll direct them to you
Have 'em call.
on making decisions on
Yes.
which way to go
Yes.
on the loan.
Yep. That'll be-
So, and if you have any questions, we can talk about it. Talk to Joan, she can get your question answered by contacting Neil. Okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Fair enough.
And that other deal you'll know in a couple of days, huh?
On the land thing. Yep. I should know tomorrow. Joe put a call into DED, but they didn't return his call.
Well, that'd be
today.
huge if that
It
happened.
would. I think so.
Yeah, thank
Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, I'm gonna move to, let's see, I believe we're ready for citizens to be heard. And gentlemen in Red Cap, would you introduce yourself?
I'm Lyle Rossiter. I'm from Newell. I'm just kind of learning how this bidding process is going.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I bidded on a fencing project with one of the contractors.
And folks, we have the Mayor of Wall Lake in our midst. Steve, would you stand up? Steve Drubengay from Mayor of Wall Lake. Nice to have you here.
I'm sure everybody knows me. Keith, Mike, Jim?
Yep.
The next people, I believe, were Carrie and Deb.
I'm just,
Okay, all right. Deb,
I'm here for Sandy.
I think this is gonna take a little while. May I don't think Deb and Carrie, you don't have very,
No, we're here.
Oh, you're with them?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
We're representing the Betterment.
Yeah.
And Linda, how
We're
about?
representing the Betterment Committee, and we're backing
Very good.
her.
Okay, I think we understand. Sandy and Carol, you'd like to talk to us.
Okay, do I stand up or sit down? I don't know.
Whatever you feel comfortable.
I'm really happy to finally talk to you. Basically, in a very small nutshell, is that the last 4 years I have been working very hard on researching the rural school system of Iowa, which sort of has turned into the whole rural history of Iowa. And I'm very interested in seeing if Odie Bolt would be interested in a rural legacy project. And what that would involve is allowing us to move the Richland #1 school as a representative country school, hopefully to the downtown area, and to use it as a museum and do the full rural legacy project here. The building has been donated by Curtis and Carol Rash, where the building is currently standing. Now, there's only about 200 schools in Iowa out of the 12,000 that were once in the system that have been restored. So the ones that are left are really in rough shape and will need to have a lot of work. The first phase, we've gotten some bids, and we had already worked on grants. Unfortunately, we missed the timing on the December and January. It was my lack of knowledge of this. This is a little out of my area. I don't do this every day. But the first phase was about $57,000. We have about half of that already pledged, and the grants are matching, and we were hoping for that. And that, we're talking about the foundation, the school itself, the structure itself to be done. And we're talking about doing it as green as possible, you know, doing, you know, the, what do you call it, the insulated windows and steel roof, to make it look as old, you know, as we can, but we're really going to do it green. Then the second phase would probably be about another 18 or 20,000, making it one of the best museums that we can. And so that's just a guess. The second part we don't know yet. What else should I say? Oh, the reason I'm here is, to put it in a nutshell, 3 reasons. I really like the location being close to the museum, and I went to the Betterment Committee and we had a long discussion as to what, there's lots of different options. But I think Odebo, I mean, I don't know if you know me, but my parents were Maxine and Walter Kessler, my grandparents were Edward and Lydia, and my great-grandfather was Henry and Elizabeth Kessler. So we've been in the area since 1874. And most of the 12 families that did the school, and it's just a representative school, it's like all the other schools. But I've actually done a book on the rural history of Iowa, on the settlement of rural Iowa. And that's really basically not been done in history books. They've forgotten about 2/3 of Iowa, the western part, and how that got settled. But the other thing is the rural school system is what was the settlement pattern, and that's what settled Iowa. The communities built around these schools. We, of course, had 7, well, we had 8 originally, but we had Odebo Town School too. But all districts had a school every 4 square miles. So the original 12 pioneering families, I've got all the history of all those 12 families. But we've used this as an example. And because of all the students and people, I mean, you just won't believe the amount of material. No other school in Iowa has this. But all the pictures and the teaching, we have all the furnishings back. So it's really an exciting project for me. But the thing we have to do is, if we're going to go for grants, we